Hey guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with a retro replay here for your very interesting game. As you can see from the thumbnail, SERRAL is about to get in trouble here versus ZEST, as SERRAL hasn't replaced his buildings. So let's just see exactly what is going to happen here into this game, how exactly things will unfold, and how exactly ZEST is going to punish here SERRAL. It's a retro replay from around the March 2022, so we're traveling a little bit back in time with the Tommy time machine into March. So yeah, let's just see SERRAL spawning here in the lower right as the red Zerg, and his opponent ZEST, who is currently sadly inactive in Starcraft 2, spawning here in the upper left as the teal Protoss. Both of them are spawning on Berlin Grade. So yeah, let's just see how things will unfold and what exactly is going to happen, that SERRAL will not be able to remake his buildings here. What exactly is ZEST going to be doing here with SERRAL, as currently ZEST moving out very strongly, very aggressively, cancelling the first spawning expansion point by SERRAL. So SERRAL losing a couple of seconds here as he has to place that expansion here into this proximity. Continuing of course with the same build order for the Zergs, extractor into spawning pool. So first expansion, then extractor, spawning pool. ZEST also playing very normal for the Protoss, build order pylon into gateway. I believe he should also has a gas here at home, so a pretty standard build order currently, as yeah, like they're spawning here on Berlin Grade. Very interesting name for a map. Was the Cybernetic core is going to be the next building for ZEST. Let's just see exactly what is he going to be continuing, perhaps with a Twilight Council. It could be a possibility, as many Protosses will like to rush their opponents with either Adepts or Stalkers, or it could also be a Starport just to harass the mineral line from the Zerg with those Oracles, with the other flying units, Void Rays perhaps from the Protoss. And yes, SERRAL could also go for some massive Zerg push with Banings, Roaches. A timing push with Roaches would also be a possibility. Hydra, Link, Bane Dark has shown us how strong this can be versus the Protoss. But yeah, currently just a couple of drones are being transferred to the expansion point, and we're closing at a 2-minute and 30-second mark. So I believe SERRAL should be able to take his second expansion point, but currently he's just massing units. You can of course see the production tab in the upper left part in case I'm missing something, but usually around the 2-minute and 40-second mark Zergs really like to go into their expansion, and here, there it is. So the normal build order here by ZEST, by SERRAL, sorry. Let's see what ZEST is going to be doing, and yeah, there is that one Stargate, and the question is going to be, is he going for some Oracles? Massive Oracles could be an option. This hero has shown us how strong this can be against the Zergs. Actually no, it's Void Ray first, so I believe he's going to try to snipe the scouting overlords here by ZEST. So yeah, ZEST just spreading more and more of that creep, spreading his overlords around the map just to have vision, and yeah, of course preparing his macro game, launching more and more of those queens. Yeah, nice injection of larva, and yeah, currently just playing it of course very defensively, very calculated here of course by the world champion. And we even have a dog here onto this one map. I believe ZEST should also have his dog. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, nice dog is here onto this map as the Oracle is going to follow here the Void Ray. Yeah, ZEST looking of course to snipe the overlords, but at the same time it's going to move really quick forward with his Oracle towards the expansion points from SERRAL. And around the 4-minute mark, ZEST really strong here, expanding at the same time. Warp Gate is about to get finished, so ZEST feeling quite confident. He's not really having such a big army yet, but he's also expanding around the map, so really cocky move by him, as his Oracle might try to regroup with his Void Ray, and they're about to attack here the expansion point. One queen is here, so a double nice attack here, and already 3 drones have been sniped, so really strong push by ZEST, as he might also try to attack here, but there is a spore, so SERRAL being prepared for that. Spores and queens versus the air attack by ZEST. Let's have a look what ZEST is going to be doing into his main. Interesting enough, another Stargate. You can see it of course in the production tab. We also see a Roach Warrant now being made by SERRAL. Yeah, we might see massive voids from ZEST. He might also go later on into some Tempest, into some carriers. It would be very interesting to see a air fleet by the Protoss. And yes, second Stargate. Interesting Very interesting build order here by ZEST, as his expansion is also about to get finished here. Yeah, some gateways. Actually, no, it's a forge, so he might transition into some other units, but currently he's focusing pretty much onto those air units as this one Oracle sniping more workers, so 4 kills already for this one Oracle. So nice job here by ZEST, harassing the middle line from SERRAL, and SERRAL also going for his tier 2. So we might see some Mutalisk, we might see some Hydra, some Lurkers could be a possibility. Let's see exactly what he's going for, as his Zerglings to pull here forward, so we might cancel this one gas. But yeah, the Void Ray is present to defend this, so still a nice early game by both players, and a really nice tactic by the Protoss player, showing us a different strategy here. And I'm just curious to see if he's going to continue with his third star gate. Yeah, let's just see. Currently so many voids are out in the air. The voids also great early on against those roaches, against Ravagers. So this might force SERRAL into going into some Hydras. We see an Overseer being made, and ZEST is currently just pushing forward. He doesn't have a server, but he has the Star Relevance spell, so he can see those queen eggs on the ground. Air Weapons 1 is also about to get finished, as SERRAL is going to spread more and more of that creep, and also taking his 6 o'clock position here. ZEST still roaming around, a strong air fleet by him. Let's see, is he going to feel confident enough to attack? There's so many queens on the ground here by SERRAL. Those Void Rays could also overcharge and attack those queens. But yeah, still just roaming around. Let's just check his main. He's actually going into Robo Bay and a fleet beacon with another Stargate. So we might see now transitioning to carriers. Let's see if this is going to happen. Let's also see what SERRAL is going to be doing. Perhaps going for some infestors, as he has an infestation pit here, so Fungus always really nice. This is trying, of course, to cancel this expansion point, but the Void Rays are present. The Adepts are also here to defend the queen, still spread more and more of those queen eggs around the map. Yeah, very beautiful map with nice green vegetation here. Also a marine statue in the middle of the map, so nice map. As the observer is coming here forward for ZEST. At the same time, ZEST of course sees the expansion point by SERRAL, as slowly but steadily we're closing at a 10-minute mark, so very nice early game by both players, and a nice macro oriented game, as ZEST has 77 workers versus the 87 here for SERRAL. Yeah, ZEST not really being so aggressive early on, he's just roaming around, just preparing his macro game, just adding more and more queens. You can also see the production tab, and some Bailing Nest has also been added here with an evolution chamber for those upgrades. So yeah, ZEST going of course for those upgrades really nicely here as the queens move forward for him, so he might try to snipe one Void Ray even the second. So sadly ZEST not paying attention to gifted units here against SERRAL. Nice job by SERRAL, being really strong with such a huge amount of queens here out on the map. Yeah, let's see what ZEST is doing, actually adding more and more of those gateways, so he might transition into some gateway units. It could be High Temper Storms, it could be Archons, as the first carriers are also being produced here by him. So yeah, carriers really strong but not that mobile, so infestors with that fungal could be really deadly against those carriers. Also Vipers are being added. We've seen this being done actually by SERRAL himself versus another Protoss player. I believe it was Neep on this channel. So yeah, fungals with parasitic bomb against slow moving carriers, or Tempest really deadly. Let's see if this is going to be the case once again, as some spores have been added. And look at that, he actually has some Vipers, but I don't see any infestors yet by him. So yeah, Vipers with lots and lots of energy, and actually he's going into some Broodlord cocoon. So yeah, let's see, some Broodlords will be spawned here really soon by SERRAL, as his Zerglings are out on the map here. Like I told you, still I don't see any infestors here. There are just 2 of them, and we actually have so many spores. For spores, really great against the carriers. You can even uproot them and downroot them somewhere else. I actually use them as a attacking force. And yeah, see some Archons being added for Prism, really nice, just to teleport some units. Yeah, just to show how advanced the technology from the Protoss is. And actually ZEST is now being able to move out. He's feeling really confident, closing net being maxed out, having more than 100 supply of an army moving strongly forward. 600 APM for SERRAL, 400 for ZEST, really, really strong. SERRAL, however, having a nice position here on the high ground. The Archon is in the front, and the first fungal might be used really, really soon here by ZEST. Yeah, let's see if he's also going for that parasitic bomb versus the carriers. So many carriers out, 5 of them. Yeah, only 2 infestors here by SERRAL, but more and more spores are being added, so ZEST is going to have a hard time with those infestors versus the carriers, sorry, versus the spores. There's some feces out of this oracle, out of this overlord, sorry, into this location, as ZEST will not be able to expand here, but ZEST looking like he's going to try to attack this location, but there's so many spines, so many spores. Nice star revelance being used by ZEST versus the units from SERRAL. There's so many banelings, sorry, those are broodlords, and so many queens with the vipers. Those vipers, of course, crucial here for ZEST with that parasitic bomb. Not that heavily into those infestors, still only 2, as more and more creep is getting spread. And now finally ZEST splitting his troops, having some zealots into this location. He might try a double attack, but he has SERRAL prepared for this with a nice wall of spine crawlers here. Yeah, in come the zealots, let's see what they can do. Attacking those spine crawlers at the same time. ZEST moving up here, let's see what the zealots will be abandoned here. Some spine crawlers will fall, but the Zerglings do get a nice round, so I believe this is going to get cleared. In the end, the spine crawlers do fall here, and sadly the zealots will also fall here for ZEST. So a good attempt at damaging the economy from SERRAL. At the same time, SERRAL now responding with banelings, as so many cannons are being produced here. Some voidways are ready to respond. Yeah, the banelings are pretty much pouring forward, and now the ropes are pretty much being attacked by those Zerglings. So nice job here by SERRAL, and I believe he should be able to snap this one location. The banelings not really making it here forward. Some cannons do intercept, and now the units from ZEST will push back SERRAL as we have passed the 10-minute mark. So very interesting game now. Nice transition by both players into very costly and strong units. Massive amounts of queens are still available here for SERRAL. There are so many voidways and carriers for ZEST, and we also see a mothership. So just like similar of the arbiters in Broodwar, Starcraft, this mothership actually making everything invisible down, even the buildings. So yeah, those High Templars are invisible. We might see some High Templar storms by him, as those rocks, the debris actually will be killed here as well. We also see some disruptors, disruptor shop with that splash damage, also really strong, but you have to micro them nicely. Yeah, nice fleet is being prepared here for ZEST, and a very beautiful teal color for him, making those High Templars very stylish here. Even the depths looking really nice into this teal, I believe even green, dark green color. So yeah, really nice, but at the same time SERRAL also moving out here with his corruptors, with his vipers. Let's see what's going to happen. And where exactly is that mothership? I believe ZEST did split his troops here somewhere, and perhaps he's going to try a interesting strategy here. He's just taking control of the map, middle of the map. SERRAL also nicely expanding and connecting his expansion with creep, and at the same time also taking this expansion here into this point. So let's just see what the next steps are going to be. Both players are maxed out, of course respecting each other. Nice armies, and look at that, ZEST actually suiciding those probes just to gain more and more advantage of an army. So certain probes have been killed, have been suicided on purpose here by ZEST. This is of course going into more and more of that army. So yeah, let's see. Still I don't know where that mothership has been hidden, as he's now going for more and more Archons. So this was his idea, more and more Archons on the field for ZEST. As he's now moving out, I believe he really wants to cancel this expansion point. Should not be a problem, because SERRAL is not really in the near proximity. So nice cancellation. But yes, SERRAL just adding more and more of those spores, more and more of those spine crawlers, looking really strong. At the same time, in comes the mothership, and a teleportation back into this mothership. So nice job here by SERRAL. Some vipers are there to respond with some torpedoes versus the carriers. So nice job, but SERRAL really has to walk now the long way with his units, as ZEST is quite mobile here with his teleport, with his recall here, I believe it is called. And yeah, nice job here, making all of those units invisible, sniping the hatchery. That's showing us a very advanced technology here for the Protoss, as he's keep killing unit after unit, and now he even has the high ground. The Broodlords try to come here forward, but they're not so mobile, so Very interesting strategy by ZEST, a nice abusive strategy, teleporting all of those units next to this mothership. So very rare scene, and such an intelligent move here by the South Korean player. Yeah, nice feedbacks even onto those queens and even Soaring Storm just to keep them at bay. So yes, SERRAL has to of course rethink his strategy. Now just going to suck some energy out of this hatchery for his Vipers. And let's see how many infestors does he have. Still only 2 infestors, so interesting enough, not going heavily into those infestors. This mothership once again really important, splitting his troops. ZEST just showing us the mobility here of this mothership. You can of course teleport those units next to that mothership, just showing us the advanced technology of the Protoss versus the Zerg. And of course those Broodlords aren't really that fast in the air, neither are the Viper, as we see some Ultras, so even Ultras have been added here. But then we see another recall, and yeah, very nice job here by ZEST, but his mothership I believe has been snapped by so many corruptors, so quite a risky move. We even see parasitic bombs now being used against the carrier, but the hive is about to explode here versus those units. In come the recalls, the torpedoes out of those Vipers, and we have once again his recalling. Oh, what a crazy mobile strategy here by ZEST, very rarely seen, as some units are sadly being left behind for him to get killed. But yeah, really nice job. A global Protoss army, a global Protoss army just teleporting all over the place here, left and right. So really nice job by ZEST, showing us the mobility out of the Protosses thanks to their advanced technology. So nice job here by him. Slowly but steadily we're closing at a 20-minute mark. Really interesting game here, and a nice abusive game here by ZEST, as ZEST has even sniped the main from SERRAL and also took this expansion point. Yeah, so such a strong game here by him. SERRAL caught off guards, is surprised. A nice job here, as more and more upgrades will go out. And yeah, now nice force here by SERRAL, as things have settled down perhaps a little bit. ZEST might try to add another mothership, but actually is going more and more heavily into those void rays, and we see even a war prism that can teleport of course units. And yeah, those high tempers also really strong with psionic storm, and let's not forget that they can morph into Archons. Yeah, let's see what's going to happen. ZEST just roaming around. Same can be said here for SERRAL, with also a very impressive army here, with Corruptors, with Broodlords, with those Vipers. Not that many infestors, interesting enough, so might try to add some more infestors just to have more fungals. ZEST roaming around, but he gets torpedoed back. So nice job here by SERRAL. Every unit counts of course a lot, especially if it's a strong unit like a carrier. Very expensive units, and yeah, this expansion should be cancelled, but ZEST sadly not following up like that. So yeah, let's see nice feedbacks against those Vipers, as slowly but steadily we're closing at the 20-minute mark. So yeah, this expansion not being punished, interesting enough, by ZEST, not producing any drones, not mining. And yeah, let's see, ZEST now playing a little bit defensively. He has so many Archons underground. Archons always a nice decision to have in the late game, with their splash damage, with their tankiness due to that strong shield. Yeah, really a strong unit to have. Once again, a nice torpedo and a nice snipe here by SERRAL. Look at that, he's even going to snap the prism with those high tempers, so quite a valuable kill here by SERRAL versus his enemy. So nice job here by him. More spores will move forward. So let's see what's going to happen. ZEST once again roaming around. I believe he has no mothership, so he might try once again an abusive attack. Is he going to be able to teleport at home to recall at home? In comes SERRAL with his Corruptors. But there's also many Archons on the ground, so those Archons will of course be a great counter with their splash damage towards these forces. So the Broodlords will actually have to take care of that. Even the Ultralisk here. Yeah, let's see. The War Prism has been replaced with a new one, with new high tempers. As in comes ZEST, just a cat and mouse game now in between the two pro players. We might see once again an attack, but no, ZEST just roaming around, perhaps waiting for his ship to arrive. So let's see when exactly that is going to happen. As he has SERRAL playing very calculated, and Olon is actually going to recall, but where exactly is he going? Look at that, as I see at the minimap, he's going in the upper right part. So once again he's showing us his mobility with this one mothership, recalling into the mothership. SERRAL has to of course walk the whole way up, so Is he going to commit, or perhaps he's going to try a counter attack? Very, very interesting strategy. Like I told you, ZEST nicely abusing the fact that he's able to teleport all over the map with those motherships, and then finally Serral is going to respond with a small task force of banings of Ultrarisk. Sadly, ZEST not paying attention. Those 16 workers have been killed. Ultrarisk are still in presence. Yeah, finally ZEST is going to recall just a couple of units here. At the same time he's moving forward. Was this the wise decision, as Serral's main army is here? So yeah, ZEST losing quite some units. Sadly for him, he didn't pay attention, so 20 workers have been killed. Sadly he has fallen to 43, and now he's just going really, really heavily into those Archons. And yeah, we see another army move out here by Serral. Serral might even try to vomit onto this one Nexus, but currently he's just sniping the mothership, taking over so much damage out of those Archons. And there's still no vomit by him onto this one Nexus. Let's see what's going to happen. ZEST has his troops splitted. He's currently retreating a little bit. And yeah, let's see how things will unfold. What exactly is going to happen into the late game. Just like you've seen on the thumbnail, something's going to happen here to Serral. And yeah, what exactly is he just attacking his own Nexus? Yeah, it happens, of course. Perhaps, but Serral, just what exactly is he doing with those Broodlords? Perhaps a mistake. Yeah, a huge mistake by Serral. Sadly is going to lose so many of those Broodlords. The Queens are here to stand by and to heal. But yeah, as we might see now, a strong engagement with so many Archons in the front. Nice Psionic Storm, but we do have mind control out of those Infestors versus the Archons. The Archons fighting Archons. Psionic Storms all over the place. The Corruptors take care of those carriers. Psionic Storming his own carriers to take out those Corruptors. The Archons are still pretty much alive, as they're pretty much obliterating everything there is on the ground and in the air. So yeah, so much blood on the ground out to the Zergs. Really, really balanced engagement here. Both players are just hurting each other. Really, really strong. So such a nice engagement by both of them. But at the same time, Serral comes in with his small task force with those Ultrarisk on the ground, taking care of the economy from ZEST. What exactly is ZEST going to be doing? Perhaps once again recalling. What is he going to commit here with his nice looking Archons here? I believe they even have a little bit of a green color onto them, so really, really stylish looking Archons. Hold on, we have a nice blink here forward, and he's blinking straight into those birds. At the same time, he's going to attack left and right, and here the Corruptors will take care of those carriers. With only one carrier being left, and those High Temper Storm are just perfectly casted here, just to keep Serral at bay. The Ultrarisk have to return back home to defend, and yeah, such a balanced game. As now ZEST has pretty much transitioned straight into Stalkers, or Mass Stalkers it is, making those Corruptors pretty much obsolete, so no use for those Corruptors now. Such a nice jump here forward by Serral, as he's going to be able to snipe yet another expansion point here for ZEST, and yeah, really heavily into those Archons. Let's see what ZEST has. Still has quite so many Broodlords in the air. Ultrarisk also on the ground, and yeah, I think he should be able to hold. As 21 more workers have fallen here for ZEST, but still so many Broodlords, and the Broodlords are pretty good against those Stalkers. So yeah, things have settled down a little bit. Perhaps ZEST is just going to take out this expansion here as well. At the same time, his task force now attacking the other expansion points, so Serral pretty much under siege left and right. Quite a hard game for him, as he has to deal with so much abusement, so much mobility out of the Protoss. Yeah, the drones have been borrowed here. The Zealots will take care of this one hatchery, as ZEST might try to just go ahead and snipe it. So nice job here by ZEST, and slowly but steadily we're closing at the 25-minute mark. Still a crazy game, and ZEST looks like he's having the advantage here, but all of a sudden so many Infestors here by Serral, and one fungal after the other. ZEST actually has to TP home, as he's pretty much being fungled here all over the place. Nice Psionic Storm to fend off those Broodlords. But yeah, more and more Broodlords will follow up here against ZEST. We even have some long distance mining here by him. So quite a interesting game here. Very strong game here by both players. And yeah, many more Infestors for Serral. Still he has just a couple of Vipers as well, 3 Vipers of course. Always important to have with that parasitic bomb. And yeah, let's see what exactly is going to happen. No production for both of them, just a pylon and some banings here for them. So interesting job, as ZEST is finally going to rebuild his expansion, at the same time checking out the rest of the expansion with his Zealots on the ground. He's also moving forward, but the Broodlords found a nice point here to intercept those units as they're moving forward versus ZEST. So yeah, ZEST losing unit after unit. Sadly for him, he needs to be careful. Perhaps some vomit will be casted onto this Nexus. No, it's just being cancelled. So yeah, let's see, the Zealots are still alive, and yeah, the Ultra-Risk will take care of that. So interesting job. ZEST now of course has to defend this expansion point. It's really important to keep this expansion point alive as in come those Zerglings. So ZEST in position. The Broodlords will retreat against the Stalkers, and yeah, ZEST might try to do a regrouping here, but those fungals prove once again to be really strong against the Zerg. I mean against the Protoss, sorry. So yeah, let's see, the Nexus is about to get finished, so SERRAL knows this expansion point is really important. SERRAL still having quite a strong force with Broodlords. This is intercepting the long distance mining here for ZEST. Infestors also on the ground. Let's just see how ZEST is going to deal with this. So much damage being taken here by him. So many Stalkers on the ground. Archon is in the front, reinforcements are pouring in, but so many Broodlords and they're not being attacked. But hold on, we actually see a nice surround maneuver here by ZEST versus those Broodlords. So much damage being dealt. Finally SERRAL finding a good position for those Broodlords in the back. The Stalkers can't really reach them, and yeah, SERRAL has to even mind control here those Archons. In the end they will fight each other here, so nice job by SERRAL. And yeah, a great spot being found here next to this factory just to save those Broodlords, and the Nexus sadly here for ZEST is lost. So he has to retreat, but no, he's doing just another thing. He's just attacking here the economy, those spores on the ground. Some Zealots are still alive, Corruptors are coming back, so are the Infestors, but yeah, ZEST looking like he's going to push more and more forward here against his enemy. Some Spine Spore Core are bleeding here, and yeah, so much damage is being dealt. Another that is going to get killed here by ZEST. Really exciting game here by both players, as not that many buildings are being left alive here for SERRAL. He's coming back with his small moving Broodlords, but remember ZEST has that blinking ability for those Stalkers, so it's so much more mobile. But we do have fungals as well here for ZEST, so it's quite a crazy game. SERRAL just keeps losing more and more of his buildings. There are some buildings here still being alive, and there it is. SERRAL has not rebuilt their base and is being revealed, so what a crazy game. Just a couple of Overlords are being left alive. And remember, in Starcraft you win a game if you snipe all of the buildings from your opponent. So yeah, let's see how SERRAL is going to react to that. He still has some spores here, of course, next to his army. And yeah, those spores will of course be really important to defend, as I believe those spores and these gas miners here are the last remaining buildings. And look at that, he's even surrounding those spores with his drones just to give them extra tankiness. At the same time, he's also moving out to cancel those expansion point here by ZEST. So crazy game. 11 workers for ZEST, 25 for SERRAL. Such a crazy move here by both of them. So if if ZEST somehow can be able to snap those spores, of course he would have the advantage. SERRAL needs to be careful. Those Stalkers will link here forward, and one Broodlord after the other is getting snapped. At the same time, the Stalkers take quite some damage. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen here, as unit after unit is going to get lost. But great fungals being used here by SERRAL. So much massive amounts of fungals versus the units from ZEST, and the Broodlords will take care of the rest. So what a crazy game indeed here. But 11 more workers have fallen here, and those spores are still alive here. They are being protected by the drones. At the same time, this Nexus is about to fall here. Another worker will fall here as well, but the real damage, of course, is happening here on the high ground, and SERRAL still having quite a strong force, quite a good number of Broodlords and Corruptors. And yeah, let's see what ZEST is, of course, hunting down the remaining buildings. He could snipe these two and then just snap the spores out of SERRAL and win the game. Very hard to execute. I believe this is the last remaining army from ZEST. 60 supply, not really mining. Is it going to be possible for him somehow to come back into this game, as he's just sniping the last remaining buildings? But there are still those spores out for SERRAL. And yeah, let's see if somehow a miracle is going to happen here for ZEST as well. Those spores, they're nicely hidden here beneath those Overlords. Even the drones are being pushed out for for SERRAL. Yeah, what exactly can he be doing? Only 8 workers are being left alive, 7 now for ZEST, as he's trying, of course, a little bit of long distance mining. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be possible for him somehow to fight against this strong army push by SERRAL. Let's see, some zealots are still on the ground fighting against the units. And yes, SERRAL slowly but steadily moves here forward against his enemy. Spores are also nicely walking here, very elegant walk by those spores. And yeah, the Broodwar's going to snipe building after building here versus ZEST. Is ZEST somehow going to be able to make it back here, as we have passed the 30-minute mark so many faster? I don't know if ZEST is going to be able to come somehow back with a miracle, perhaps with sniping somehow those spores in the back, but it's going to be very difficult against so many fungus, against so many Broodlords on the ground. And yeah, there is his army waiting, of course, for his chance, waiting perhaps for a nice flank, and there it is. He shifted onto those spores. He knows that if he kills those spores, he's going to win the game. So in comes ZEST with a desperate move, but yeah, the fungus will keep him at bay, and SERRAL taking this game, even though his buildings were crippled, his buildings were shattered, his economy as well. But crazy game, 6 workers being left for ZEST, 13 for SERRAL. So such a crazy game. In the end, SERRAL being the victor here. So yeah, nice game here. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.